Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support, period. You can't primary every Thomas Massie.
The efforts of Tucker Carlson to go and meet with Trump and lobby against war on Iran. And it sent Laura Loomer and the Zionists into this deranged craze, which seems to be like a permanent state of psychosis for the Zionists that they just now live in 24/7. But I said how I thought this was actually really amazing and brave, not to glaze too much, but I mean, let's be honest here. The last guy that went into the Oval Office to try and convince Trump not to go to war with Iran, he ended up with a 30-6 penetrating his neck, but it didn't go all the way through his neck, which leads many to believe that actually there's something very sinister about how and why he died. That would be Charlie Kirk. So I say that I hope that Tucker is monitoring his surroundings. I hope he's traveling in very safe places and he's trying to be as safe as possible because, boy, oh boy, if there's one thing that Israel would hate more than someone who speaks out against their country and is very popular for doing so, speaks out against the idea of war, it's someone that has the president's ear. Someone who has the ability to not call up an advisor of President Trump or the vice president or the secretary of state, but the ability to call Donald Trump up himself and personally request a meeting where he then tells President Trump that he's basically retarded for trying to pursue war against Iran. He just posted a new video, though, where he explained why he honestly believes that despite his best efforts, we are still about to see a war. Not just any war, a major war against Iran. Take a listen to this short clip.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support, period. You can't primary every Thomas Massie, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel. But
can you imagine how anti-Israel, how little of fuck Gen A, Generation Alpha, who comes after Gen Z, is going to give about Israel? I'm Gen Z. I'm like at the tail end of Gen Z. I'm 26, but my whole generation, I mean, it's just like a joke. The whole thing is a joke. So if we view it as a joke, what does that mean for Gen A? I mean, they're going to, I think what it means is it's like, if Gen Z says, you know, we want nothing to do with them, we want to cut off this relationship with Israel, Gen A is going to be like, prepare the hypersonics for Israel, if you know what I mean.
Attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media, whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening, to tell you, hey, wake up. The world could be changing, and it's going to affect you and your family. That's their job. And instead, they've been lulling you to sleep with the same variety of transparent lies and propaganda.
So, to be honest with you, this is the only thing that could actually possibly stop a war with Iran. Tucker Carlson putting out these very, well-formulated arguments, trying to convince people against it, trying to explain to the president of the United States that this is, in fact, a really bad, stupid idea that is not going to end up well for him. Because, well, I mean, what is the alternative? The alternative is Thomas Massie, God bless his heart, and Ro Khanna introducing a war powers resolution in the U.S. Senate to try in the Congress to try and say, Trump, you can't do this without our Bro, who cares? Do you think Trump cares about a war powers resolution? Do you think he cares about any of that? Of course he doesn't. We are living now under Trump in an era tantamount to, apocalypse now. And It seems to be crashing and burning just about as bad as it did in that movie. And maybe he's like the colonel at the end of that movie where he's just looking for a way out. Could be, but I can't understand how this will go well at all. That's why some people believe that, in fact, Trump is acting under duress. Trump feels as though he's going to be unalived if, in fact, he doesn't do this. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that everyone surrounding Trump wants this to go down. I mean, did you guys hear what Mike Huckabee said the other day? I mean, this is the mindset of everyone surrounding Trump. He picked these people with Miriam Adelson, okay, yeah, but they picked these people. They put these people in the administration. They put them in key spots. U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Secretary of State, Pam Bondi, Attorney General. She got placed in over Matt Gaetz, who's anti-Israel. So this is where we're at now. I don't even believe this argument that Trump is acting under duress. I think that he and everyone surrounding him all truly want this.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
It would be fine if they took it all. I've never seen a single interview prompt state level, government level condemnation from one state, let alone how many was it? 7 different countries that came together and condemned this statement from U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. The only problem here, it's not even that he said this, it's that he clearly feels that the Trump administration, everyone surrounding him in this administration, would all see that to be a very normal thing. A very normal thing to have said that. No big deal. Probably get a pat on the back and a medal or something like that. A award of whatever. Some sort of an award for saying what he just said, that Israel, okay, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, they can be happy if they take over the entire region, all these countries, right? Award of commendation. That is the state of the Trump administration. So if they're that insane, and despite that insanity, all of these states in the Middle East practically are going along with this war, and Iran is the only major power acting as a deterrent to Israel's superiority in the region right now. Okay, sure, maybe you could say one day maybe Turkey. Okay, not today. You could say, but Netanyahu's voice is concerned about Egypt. Well, Egypt is a U.S. vassal, U.S. British vassal. So not today. So if Iran is the only country acting as a deterrent, then why are these countries that are on the chopping block for Israel hosting U.S. bases, allowing the U.S. to operate there, allowing warplanes to fly over their soil to attack Iran? Why are they backing this? It's all a big plan. Now they're coming out and saying it. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.